What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, like I promised you guys, I would start covering boxing again on my channel. Sorry for the faux pas just now with the last video. Look, man, like I said, man, I really haven't been following boxing. I mean, look, I started becoming a casual like 2009, but I really stopped following boxing altogether like 3, 4 years ago. So, I gotta really get acclimated back to these characters that's in the current state of boxing. But speaking of character, Floyd Mayweather, seeing the success of Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., has announced that he's going to have an exhibition bout against YouTube personality Logan Paul. All right, and the bout is scheduled for February the 20th. He announced this on his Instagram today. Now, this isn't the same individual that fought Nate Robinson. Okay, that was his brother Jake Paul. Okay, Jake Paul's the one that recently knocked out Nate Robinson on the undercard of the Tyson Jones fight. Logan Paul, who is a YouTube personality like his brother, is 0-1 in fighting. He lost. Who was it that he lost to? Was it KS1? Yeah, KS1. He lost that 6 round bout to KS1 in a Nevada sanctioned bout back in November of 2019. KS1. I hope I'm saying his name right. If I'm not, tell me, because like I said, I'm starting to get acclimated. I don't know if it's KS1 or KSI. I'm just assuming it's KS1. He won in a split decision. Like I said, Logan Paul's the brother of Jake Paul. Um, According to the event's webpage, the bout will be streamed as a pay-per-view. The first 1 million buys will cost $24.99, with the price increasing after that threshold is surpassed or the date gets closer. The price jumps to $69.99 starting February 11th, which is roughly $5 cheaper than the price for Saturday's bout between unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia. Okay, last time Mayweather fought was in 2017. I think it was August of 2017. I think it was against UFC champion Conor McGregor. After that, he closed his career um, with a 50-0 record with 27 knockouts. Um, these are my thoughts, okay? The reason why I think Tyson versus Jones was such a success is because of the fact that there was the nostalgia factor. Um, watching two of the greatest fighters of their generations get together. There was much, much speculation of those two fighting. I think it was around 2002, 2003. There was a push for that fight to happen after Roy Jones went up to the heavyweight division and he beat uh, Ruiz at the time. But Jones did not stay in the heavyweight division. He went back down. And you could actually, speculate maybe that was a mistake. Losing that 20 pounds of muscle that rapidly, it did something to Roy's reflexes, his strength for quite a bit of time. And he wasn't the same fighter after. But like I said, look, that was a factor, the nostalgia factor. Also, whether it's a 30-second fight or a full fight with Tyson just has this thing about him. You want to watch him fight because of his style. It's an unpredictability about his fights. He could possibly lose, but you could also see a devastating knockout. That's the appeal of Tyson. Now in his prime, he didn't think he was going to lose at all, but it was that appeal of watching. It's exciting to watch a Tyson fight, even with that choreographed fight that we saw last weekend. We knew Tyson. If you watched the fight, you kind of could tell he was pulling his punches. He wasn't really trying to hit Roy in the head or in the face. You could really tell if Mike really wanted to, he could have took out Roy Jones, but it was more of a fight to be entertaining for the fans to watch. Okay, now who the fuck really wants to watch Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition? Okay, it's not like it's been eons since we've seen the guy fight. Granted, against a guy like Paul, he may be more offensive minded. Maybe it'll be a more exciting fight. I don't know. Look, if you want to spend $60 or $70 or whatever it is to fight, to watch Mayweather fight, have at it. I'm not. Okay. Um, at this point, I think pay-per-views should be relegated to actual championship level fights. And when I watch these things, they're starting to become like, look, Tyson versus Jones was one thing. These were two all-time great fighters. McGregor, even with that fight, that was an all-time great defensive boxer, boxer overall in Mayweather against a great, fighter in his own venue with McGregor. Personality, notwithstanding. But now it's starting to become like a clown show. You feel me? Like it's becoming like a farce with this situation. And look, I, no, I won't be watching. I'll say this though. Uh, Floyd is now 43, going on 44. I would think Floyd would have the upper hand in this bout, but he's reaching that age, and it's been 3 years since he fought. He was 40 then, and it'll be 3.5 years when the fight actually happens since his last fight. You don't know what could happen. Like I would think Floyd would win pretty easily. I think today's fighters are a little different than prior generations, but at the same time, when you spend that much time outside the ring and you were a guy that was known for your defense, not necessarily for your power, avoiding getting hit, I think it's a risk involved. Okay, but at the same time, it's an exhibition. You feel me? So like, if this was a real fight, like if this was Floyd coming back to fight a real actual sanctioned bout, and it's not, it's not some choreographed piece of shit, then maybe it would be worth pay per view. Maybe even if you just want to fucking see Floyd get knocked out, if you hate Floyd. But a choreographed fight, I don't know, man. To me personally, I don't think it's worth the pay per view money. Um, I have a feeling it's going to do pretty good, just because of the fact that there are people that just want to see Floyd get his ass. You know what I'm saying? There's still that legion of fans out there that want to see some type of some type of L attached to Floyd. So there's always going to be people who are going to just, you know, there's going to be people that's going to want to watch it just from that aspect. Me personally, I'm not going to say I'm not going to watch it, but I'm not going to pay for it. If you catch my drift. So, that's pretty much all I got to say. Tell me what you guys think.